Hello and welcome to the Erie County District Attorney's Office weekly YouTube video where we discuss various issues that affect the criminal justice system and in turn affect the residents here of Erie County and the state and quite frankly, the criminal justice matters that are occurring across the country. I am Erie County District Attorney John Flynn and I welcome you all to this weekly topic. What's going on now, we're here in the end of May, and we're going into the final stretch of the 2023 legislative session, which is going to end in the early portion of June of this year, 2023. A lot of times what happens in Albany, New York, is that, the budget gets done in April and then people forget and kind of fall asleep. But the reality is that a lot of bills get passed after the budget gets approved in April, before the deadline where they go home in June. And so in the month of May, and the month of April sometimes too, in the month of June or early portion of June, we see on occasion a lot of bills get passed and a lot of bills that relate to the criminal justice system. This year is no different. This year, there are a bunch of bills that are percolating in Albany that relate to the criminal justice system. In particular, there are three that I want to kind of touch on today. The first one is called the Clean Slate Bill. The concept of clean slate is to basically give people who have committed a crime and have served their time just what it says, a clean slate. A chance to have their record not necessarily expunged in all occasions, even though there's some parts of that are part of this bill, but the main portion is to have their record sealed, which would basically preclude employers from knowing they have a criminal history. Now, conceptually, I'm in agreement with that. I am for that. I want individuals to be productive members of society. And to be a productive member of society, a productive taxpayer, you have to have a job. And so having a job is kind of equivalent in a lot of cases with being a productive member of society. Not necessarily, but it's certainly a major factor. And we want to have people to be able to get employment, to have jobs, and to be taxpayers who are supporting and functioning in society. It is difficult sometimes to get a job if you have a criminal record. And I recognize that and I understand that. So in the big picture, I have no problem with conceptually the clean slate legislation. The problem in Albany, as with most criminal justice bills, especially in the past 3 or 4 years, they go too far. They go too far and they incorporate too many factors where they don't recognize the public safety factor. I think we can all agree that no one wants an individual who has been convicted of multiple DWIs to be a school bus driver and to drive our kids every day on a bus, all right? We don't want that. And so we just need to make sure that the clean slate legislation is fair and reasonable and doesn't go too far. The other two bills that are out there percolating are the Fair and Timely Bill, a Fair Justice Bill, and the Elder Parole Bill. The Elder Parole Bill basically says that if you're 55 years old, and you've hit 55, and you have served 15 years in prison, then you're automatically eligible for parole at age 55. No matter what you did, no matter how long of a sentence you got, okay? The second bill, the Fair and Justice Timely Bill, is a bill that basically flips the parameters of parole, where now when the parole board looks at a case, they initially start off with, the nature of the crime, what the person did, the victim's family, and how it's going to affect the victim and their family. how it affects society at large, okay, the crime that they did. And then after that analysis, then you get into whether or not the person has been a model prisoner, how they behaved in prison. Have they gotten a GED? Have they gone back and got a degree in prison? Have they, led the Bible study in prison? All good things, okay? But that's always a secondary factor. Now they want to flip that. And they want to have, how have you been in prison first? And then the nature of the crime second, which I am totally opposed to, as should every member of New York State. Every resident of New York State should be opposed to this, along with the 55 and 15 bill as well, okay? Because again, if you put these two bills together, all right, what you have are the worst of the worst, the murderers, the rapists, potentially getting out of jail and getting parole at age 55. And that is bad for New York State. So these are some of the bills that are percolating now in Albany, and you as the residents of New York State need to be aware of that and tell your legislators how you feel about these bills. And with that, I'll see you next time.